like that beat. Let's go.
All right, we are back with roster update predictions, and we are here predicting the roster update for September 25th. Now, the guys we got today, they're a bit, out there. There's a few guys that I can see people think are going to go gold, like, James Karinchak, and he does look like an obvious guy, but he's already going for 1,000 stubs. I'm not going to bother with him. He's a very obvious guy that's going to go up. I'm going to go after guys that I'm interested in and I think could go up. So, let's start off with the first guy, which is going to be, let's get down to him right here. He should be on the first page. Yep, Clint Frazier. He actually is going for 1,000 stubs. So, I'm actually contradicting myself. I'm going to go fuck myself. I'm going to fuck off, alright? God damn it. I really just... Okay. I guess I skipped by him. I did think he was an obvious... I'm not even lying when I say this. I think he was an obvious gold, and I just didn't bother. I guess Clint Frazier is too, but look at me. I don't know. I guess I just missed him. I'll fuck off. But Clint Frazier, he's hitting 286. He's a 926 OPS against lefties and a 965 OPS against righties. When I say he's batting 286, he's batting 286 against both sides. He's batting straight even 286. He's got 6 home runs against lefties and 20 home runs. Okay, sure. No, he's got 6 home runs against righties and he's got 2 home runs against lefties. So he has 8 home runs on the season. He's batting pretty good, I'd say. In 28 at-bats, he's not doing bad against lefties. I think they could boost up his lefty stats a bit. As you can see, +5 against lefties gets him up to an 80, and that's where I think he's going to sit at an 80 overall. So be on the lookout for him to go gold. You can make not even 200 subs off this card. So if you have not already invested in him, this is not the guy you should go after. Next guy up is Christian Vasquez. A previous gold. He did used to be a gold, and then he started going in a bit of a slump, and they brought him back down. But recently, he's actually starting to heat up a bit. He's batting 273 on the year with 6 home runs, a 767 OPS. Not that good with the OPS, but he's a catcher after all, so what do you expect? But at the end of the day, recently he's batting 276 in 7 games. He's batting 310 in his last 15. If we go against his righty stats, he's actually batting 298 with a 439 slug and a 793 OPS. You can get those righty stats boosted up a good bit. Now his lefty stats aren't doing too hot. He's hitting 216 with a 412 slugging and a 710 OPS, so I think the power won't come down, but the contact's going to come down. But they're going to hit those righty stats pretty damn well, and I think he will go up to an 80 no problem. He is a guy that you can make actually a good amount of stubs off of, 500 subs per card. That's pretty damn good. I'd be on the lookout for this guy going diamond. Not diamond, Jesus. Be on the lookout for this guy going gold. One of the more set-in-stone golds, I'd like to say, is Dallas Keuchel. He is more than likely going gold. On the year, he's doing great. 2.04 ERA, a 6-2 record, 10 games started. He has 57.1 innings pitched and 39 strikeouts with a 1.1 whip. Now, the one thing that I think is really going to boost this guy up to an 80 overall, because that's where I think he's going to go, is how he has given up only 2 home runs in 57 innings. And he's a 66 home run per 9. That's pretty bad. A 66 home run per 9, and he's out here only giving up 2 home runs in 57 innings. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. He definitely deserves a better home run per 9 for sure. He's really showing off that he can limit the long ball this year. So I think that he will be seeing a huge upgrade in that home run per 9, at least going to a 75 in my opinion with that home run per 9. I think the attribute's at least going to a 75 because he's doing amazing at limiting home runs. So, yeah, I'd say be on the lookout for him going gold. I think he's very cheap for a guy who has a great chance of going gold this year. So, be on the lookout for him. Another guy I'm rooting for this year is Jake McGee. Little bit biased about it, I won't lie, but he is having a great year. In 18.1 innings pitched, he has struck out 29 batters. He's striking out a good amount. A .87 whip, which is also really good, and he's limiting the amount of runs he's given up with a 2.45 ERA. If we go look, he has given up 1 home run in those 18 innings pitched, which is also pretty solid, and he's only walked 3 batters in those 18 innings. Again, very solid. I gotta say, this guy's having a pretty damn good year so far, so I'd be on the lookout to see him go gold. Another guy who's pretty damn cheap, 500 subs by now, 700 subs if you do a request for profit. That's pretty fucking good. So be on the lookout for this guy going gold too, man, because he also has great odds. I'm a bit biased on it, but at the same time, when you read off his stats, he definitely has the chance. All right, last but not least, Travis d'Arnaud, probably the best hitting catcher this year. Currently batting .327 with 9 home runs and a .936 OPS on the season in 156 at-bats. Recently, in the last 7 games, he's batting .393 with 2 home runs and a .643 slug. And in his last 15 games, he's batting .339 with 3 home runs and a .525 slug. If we go to his splits against lefties, he is batting .235 with a .235 slug and a .506 OPS. So he is really struggling against lefties, but that is only in 34 at-bats, to be fair. So he hasn't really seen them that much. But against righties, he is absolutely raking, hitting .352 with a .631 slug and a .1055 OPS. That is really fucking good. He is absolutely raking against righties this year, and it does take a +12 for him to get those righty boosts, but I think he could get it. He's raking against righties, to be fair, and this is going to be the last roster update before the postseason, so they might give it to him. We'll have to see. But he's going to be the last guy I think is going gold. He's currently going for 750 stubs. I think everybody I predicted here for gold, for guys going gold, yep, everybody I think is going to an 80 flat. It's pretty rare to see them go above that. They usually go to an 80 and then they get upgraded from there. But let's move on to the gold upgrades, gold to diamond upgrades. First guy up is Corey Seager. This guy, I'm not even being biased when I say this, is absolutely destroying the baseball and for sure deserves a diamond upgrade. I think he'll be going up to an 85 flat. In fact, everyone here I think is going up to an 85 flat just to be safe. But on the year, he's batting .321 with 14 home runs and a .986 OPS. In his last 7 games, he's batting .345 with 2 home runs and a .586 slug. And his last 15 games, he's batting .317 with 5 home runs and a .635 slug. If we go to his splits against lefties, he is raking now. .293 average with a .569 slug and a .918 OPS. He is destroying lefties now. Doing great. Love to see it. And against righties, he's batting .333 with a .633 slug, or with a .630 slug and a .1015 OPS. 58-54 power and contact against lefties. Yeah, that's going up. That's going up. He for sure deserves an upgrade on those lefty stats. +12, I wouldn't even put it past him. He deserves it. He's really hitting lefties well now. It's a huge difference compared to how he was hitting against them like last week. I think he was batting like .260 against them last week. So definitely deserves a huge upgrade in those lefty stats. They already did like a +10 on them when he was starting to hit .260. So I wouldn't doubt it. So be on the lookout for him going diamond. He's currently going for 4,600 stubs. You can make 800 stubs per card on him if you do the request. So if you want to, go for him. Next guy up is Teoscar Hernandez, having a great year so far. Currently batting .303 with 16 home runs and a .966 OPS. In his last 7 games, he's batting .276 with 2 home runs and a .517 slug. In his last 15 games, he's batting .305 with 4 home runs and a .542 slug. If we go to his splits against lefties, he's batting .318 with a .705 OPS and an over 1,000 slug. That contact versus lefties can get a solid boost. And against righties, he's batting .298 with a .588 slug and a .928 OPS. Yeah, the guy's hitting pretty damn good, man. I think he for sure deserves. Hold up. Now that I look at this again, I'm literally reading it wrong. Did I seriously just fuck it up that badly? God damn it. Okay, against lefties, he's batting .318, not .303. So against lefties, he's actually batting .318 with a .705 slug and a .1080 OPS. So that lefty contact could go up way more than I thought before, because those are 15-point differences, which is pretty huge. And against righties, he's batting .298 with a .588 slug and a .928 OPS. So he's not batting as good against righties, but still batting pretty damn good. Over a 900 OPS is considered elite, so he's doing pretty solid out there. So, yeah, I think this guy's going up to an 85 without a doubt, maybe an 86, but when I saw what he needs to go up to an 87, I was thinking, I don't know about that. So, yeah, be on the lookout for him to go diamond, though. He's currently going for 4,500 subs pretty much. You can make about 1,000 subs per him on the request, so that's actually a very good investment. So invest in him if you want to make 1,000 subs per card. Next guy up is Whit Merrifield. Now, for some reason, this guy's only going for 3K. 3,000 stubs. And the man is doing amazing, hitting .284 on the season with a .784 OPS. That contact is there. In his last 7 games, he's batting .355 with a .387 slug. If you go to his last 15 games, he's batting .359 with a .500 slug. Now, to get to an 87, that is 3 overall, so he needs +12 against righties. So I think he's definitely going to an 85. if we go to see his lefty stats, he's batting 298 with a 447 slug and an 800 OPS. If we go to his righty stats, he's batting 281 with a 455 slug and a 780 OPS. Those numbers are pretty close. In 63 and 80, I feel like the lefty stats, the lefty contact could go up a bit, the righty contact could go up a bit, the lefty power could go up a bit with the OPS being at 800. I don't know, man, but I think they care about slugging a bit more than OPS, so maybe not. We'll just have to see. But I think the odds of this guy going diamond are actually very high, in my opinion. But we'll just have to see. But yeah, let's move on to the next gold, which I think is most likely guaranteed. This guy has to be guaranteed. We'll just jump right to him. He's right here, going for 5,100 stubs. He is the most expensive for sure. You will only make a single stub per card on him for profit because he's just doing that good and people realize it. He is currently batting 289 on the season with a 979 OPS, and he has 17 home runs. If we go to see his last 7 games, he's batting 480 with a 1,300 slug. And in his last 15, he's batting 396 with a 925 slug. He is going off. Against lefties, he's batting 358 with an 887 slug and over a 1,300 OPS. Against righties, he's batting 265 with a 503 slug and an 852 OPS. Now, that righty contact could go up a bit because it is pretty damn bad, and the power could go up a bit because that's pretty damn bad too. The lefty stats are going to get boosted even more because he has unrealistic numbers against him right now. 358 average, that's 100 plus. 1,300 OPS with an 887 slug, that's above 85 power. So, yeah, this guy's going to get a huge upgrade here. I think he could be the one that goes to an 86 if anybody. So be on the lookout for him going diamond. He is for sure, I'd say, the guaranteed guy here. And we'll be going to the last guy quickly right here, which is Will Myers. 84 overall right now. I think he also has great odds of going diamond. Currently hitting 297 on the season with a 979 OPS. In his last 7 games, he's not doing great with a 250 average and a 458 slug. But if you go to his last 15, which I think they care about, I think they care about that a lot more. 7 games, very small stretch. 15 games, a good stretch for a 60-game season, where he's hitting 308 with a 692 slug, which is pretty solid. If we go to look at his lefty stats, he is currently batting 345 with a 655 slug and over 1,000 OPS. And against righties, he's batting 276 with a 598 slug and a 946 OPS. Definitely deserves that diamond upgrade with those stats, man. Against lefties, he's batting insane. They could boost that contact up a bit, and the 276 average is better than 64. So this guy most likely going diamond in my opinion. He is raking. They could probably even boost those lefty power stats to above 90, 92. They could put that above. They could put that at 100, I think. So be on the lookout for him going diamond. You could currently make over 1,000 subs per card on him. So go ahead and invest in that if you want to make the most. I say make the most, but Whit Merrifield's easily the most. He is going for nothing. All right, on to the gold downgrades. Guys, we're going from gold to silver, in my opinion. First guy up is Aaron Savali. With a 3.99 ERA and in 70 innings, he has 65 strikeouts and a 1.26 whip across the board. Those really are just not good numbers. He's given up 8 home runs this year, and he's walked 16 batters in 70 innings. Not that great, but not that terrible. But, I mean, all those stuff could come down a bit. Like, the K per 9 could come down to under 70 because that's not doing great. The hit per 9 could come down under 70 because that's a high whip. And the home run per 9 could maybe come down, considering, I don't know, in 57 innings, he only had 4 home runs last year given up. But in 70, only 13 more innings, he has given up double the amount of home runs. So that might go down too. We'll just have to be on the lookout for it. He is currently going for like nothing. So yeah, it is. I mean, he's an Indy overall though, so what do you expect? But yeah, I do expect him to go down to a 79 is what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think he'll sit right at a 79. Actually, all these guys I think are going down to a 79 because yet again, I just don't think, like, none of these guys are doing, well, some of them are, but I don't know. I just don't think they'll go down further than that. But let's head on right to the next guy, which is, if I can fucking find him, German Marquez. There we go, found him. I think he'll be going down. I don't really know how he hasn't. He hasn't been good, like, the entire year. I know that he was good to start, but he hasn't been at all good since. In 74.2 innings, he has 66 strikeouts, so he's not striking out many batters. He also has a 4.1 ERA, which is horrible. He has a 1.3 whip, which is also pretty damn bad. He has given up 6 home runs in 74 innings, which is a bit better than Aaron Savali, and his home run per 9 is much worse, so that's not interesting. but he has walked 24 batters in 74 innings, which is also pretty damn bad. Because in 100 more innings, he only walked 11 more batters, so it's pretty shocking to see that. But yeah, he's kind of sucking this year. He's kind of sucking. I don't really know why he's gold, because he's doing very, very bad. But let's move on to the next guy. Next guy, Eugenio Suarez. Also not doing great. One thing he's got going for himself is his home runs, which is where he comes into that power. But his slugging, I just don't think is that good. If we go to his lefty stats, he's got 426 slugging. Against righties, he's got 485 slugging. 711 OPS, 810 OPS. At the end of the day, he's batting 199. He's batting 209 against righties and 170 against lefties. The contact kind of matches up, but at the same time, under 200 is fucking abysmal. And it's causing his stats to still be terrible, which means that power should still be coming down. In his last 7 games, he's batting 100 with a 250 slug. In his last 15, he's batting 216 with a 549 slug. So, I don't know. It's just like he's not doing that good, man. He's doing pretty damn bad. It's just, like, he's hitting home runs, sure, but that's it. Yeah, there's not enough power or anything behind him besides the home runs to justify him still being a gold. So, I do think he will be going down to a silver, to a 79. So, be on the lookout for that. And a guy I've been saying has been going silver for a long fucking time now. Tommy Pham. Why the fuck is this guy still a goddamn gold? Ah, my God. Because of his 23 at-bats against lefties? Where he's batting 304. Is that enough to keep him at a fucking gold? Holy shit, guys. Like, come on. 23 at-bats. Because on the season, he's batting 207 with a fucking 600 OPS. And in his last 7 games, he's batting 136 with a 240 on base, which doesn't really matter, but it's there, and a 136 slug. His last 15, he's batting 157 with a 216 slug. And we've seen that they care about recent numbers, and that's really fucking bad for recent numbers. Against righties this year, man, he's batting 174 with a 217 slug and a 505 OPS. If any man should have 40s in their stats, it's this man. That contact should be in the 40s. Why the fuck is it still not? Why is it in the 60s while Eugenio's sitting over here with 40s contact? That doesn't make any sense. He's batting fucking for a better average. Like, what the fuck? And his power versus righties is also very much better than it should be. It is still, yeah, 58. It's better than it should be, man. I mean, 217 slug, like, that is fucking bad. Like, that's 40s yet again, man. He should not have any sort of stats against righties. He's just straight up useless against righties this year. Austin Hedges is what he is against righties. Maybe even worse. But the last guy we got is Joey Gallo. This guy's he's doing pretty bad. I'm not even gonna lie about it. He's doing pretty bad. In the season so far, 173 at-bats, he has 10 home runs, a 179 average, and a 704 OPS. In his last 7 games, he has a 100 average with a 250 slug. In his last 15 games, he's batting 167 with a 354 slug. Pretty damn bad. Against lefties, he's batting 156 with a 422 slug and a 682 OPS. Bad. Against righties, he's batting 193 with a 385 slug and a 714 OPS. Also very bad. The only thing that's keeping this guy at an 80 is his fielding and his power. Power's going to get hit hard here. Power's going to get hit hard in this roster update, and I'm 100% expecting this guy to go to a 79 minimum. To get to an 81, he needs +9, so he's probably very close to being a silver. So, yeah, man, be on the lookout for it, because I think it will happen. And if discipline has to do with anything for walks, I don't think he's walking much either. He's currently walked 29 times to 75 strikeouts. Ah, my God, that's bad. Okay. But vision has to do with strikeouts. Well, I'm pretty sure the discipline has to do with walking and also not swinging at balls. So I can't really predict that unless I go into fucking in-depth stats, which I'm just not interested in doing. Not for fucking discipline. I don't give a shit about that. Let's go to the diamonds now, though. Let's go to the diamonds that are going to be going gold. Okay, let's move on to that. I got a fucking game I need to record, so we need to get this done. Alright, so we got 4 diamond downgrades today. Diamonds that are going to be going to gold in this next roster update. We got 4 of them, not 5. And the first guy up is Seth Lugo. Guy's not doing good ever since he's moved to the starting role. And what made him go to diamond was them switching him from a reliever to a starter. That's what made him go diamond. So they're probably going to move him back to a reliever if the Mets decide to do that, because he has been struggling pretty badly ever since going to the starting role. But if we do look at him, he's got a 3.82 ERA in 15 games and 6 games started. He has 35.1 innings pitched and 46 strikeouts, so he's striking out a good amount of batters, but he has a 1.22 whip, which is pretty bad. He has a 4.15 ERA in his last 7 games and 26 innings pitched. He has given up 29 hits, that's a 1.35 whip, but he has struck out 36 batters, which is pretty good. And he's walked 6 batters in those 26 innings. He has given up 8 home runs in 35 innings, which is terrible for him, because in 80 innings last year, he gave up 8 home runs. So the exact same amount in 45 more innings pitched. So yeah, I'm definitely expecting that to get hit pretty hard. I'm expecting the hit per 9 to get hit a bit hard. And I'm expecting him to maybe go down to the reliever role, because they might move him back to that. Ever since his struggles from going to the reliever role to the starter role, they might switch him. But let's move on to the next guy. Next guy up is Javier Baez. I've been saying that this guy will be going down for weeks, for maybe months. Well, ever since I started, pretty much. People are saying he's not going to go down because he's the cover boy, and maybe you're right. But I'm still going to point out the facts that this man should be going gold. He's batting .202 on the season with a .592 OPS. In his last 7 games, he's batting .192 with a .308 slug. His last 15 games, he's batting .222 with a .333 slug. If we go to his lefty stats, he's batting .224 with a .429 slug and a .693 OPS. Against righties, he's batting .195 with a .331 slug and a .560 OPS. All terrible numbers. Terrible. Nothing here is good. He doesn't reach over 700 OPS against both sides. He doesn't get to a 500 slug on either sides either. He doesn't even get to a 450 slug on either sides. In fact, against righties, he doesn't even have a 400 slug. Again, another guy who looks like he should be in the 40s, considering how they treat Suarez. So it just doesn't really make much sense to me how this guy isn't gold, besides for the fact that he's a cover boy. But maybe they'll eventually not give a shit and say, fuck it, you do deserve to go gold, and we are going to send you down. But let's move on to the next guy, who is Sonny Gray. Guy has just not looked himself lately. He had a 1 good start in his most recent start, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts. This was a good start, but otherwise he's been terrible. He has 50.2 innings pitched in the season, 68 strikeouts. That's pretty solid. 1.22 whip, which is kind of high now. He has a 3.73 ERA. In his last 7 games, he has a 5.34 ERA and 32 innings pitched. He has a 1.53 whip. He is still striking out 40 batters, but he's walked 17 batters, and he's given up 19 earned, which is pretty tough. If we go to his stats on the year, he's given up 4 home runs in 50 innings. Not terrible. And he's also walked 22 batters in 50 innings, which is kind of bad, but for the fact that in his last 32, he's walked 17 of those batters, that means in pretty much 20 of those innings pitched, he walked 5, and it jumped up to 17. I don't really know how that happens, but I guess, well, I mean, he just started falling apart all of a sudden. So, yeah, expect him to probably go gold. They were pretty harsh on him in his first bad start, and now he's had a few bad starts in a row. 1 good start, 1 decent start isn't going to change him from going gold, so be on the lookout for him going gold. Alright, the last man up is Alex Bregman. Ever since returning to the IL, he hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked good, man. In his last 7 games, he's batting a 150 with a 150 slug, and in his last 15 games, he's batting 205 with a 273 slug. Terrible numbers. On the year, he's batting 246 with a 775 OPS and 134 at-bats, so he does have the at-bats down. In his splits against lefties, he is batting 341 with a 561 slug and a 986 OPS. Very good. I'll give you that, Bregman. You're doing good against lefties. But against righties, you're batting 204 with a 355 slug and a 682 OPS. That is the majority of your at-bats right there, too. So that's going to hurt you a bit more. So what I'm going to say is I think that the power versus righties is going to get hit hard, and the contact versus righties is probably going to go to the mid to low 50s, and that's going to cause him to go to, I'd say, either an 85 or an 84. I'd say if they hit him hard enough, he'll go to an 84, but if they hit him in general how they should, he'll go to an 85. He is the last pick for a reason. He is the guy who's most likely not going down, but he is going to get hit pretty damn hard on the overall. At least has to go to an 85 in my opinion. But yeah, guys, that is all the roster update predictions for this week. Sorry they had to rush through it. I have a debut I gotta record, and I'm on a tight schedule. So yeah, boys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy. Subscribe my content like this. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.